Oh, why hello. I didn't see you there. Welcome to Lauterbrunnen. Good morning. Today we are actually headed out from Munich. So yesterday we had a nice drive over to the Neuschwanstein I don't know, castle.
It's hard to say.
And we were able to drive through the countryside. Vivek had a fun time driving his M4. So we got back pretty late, but after that we just had some dinner. We actually ended up having Subway, of all things, which was okay. I would say it's okay. It wasn't like the best, but it wasn't bad in any way. Now we are actually making our way over to Switzerland. So we're heading to Zurich right now. And it's an interesting route because we're actually crossing over 4 different countries on this drive. So we started in Munich, so Germany. Now we're crossing into Austria, which we just made a quick pit stop at for some gas. And now we're headed to Liechtenstein on the way over to our final destination, Switzerland. It'll be interesting to see I think Liechtenstein is one of the smallest countries in the entire world. So what that looks like. So after a bit of driving, we've finally reached Liechtenstein. It was interesting driving here because we were at one point in Germany, then at one point in Austria, and suddenly we were being waved through a border into Switzerland, and then we were on the highway in Switzerland and just took an exit and turned left, and suddenly we were in Liechtenstein. You didn't even tell, you couldn't tell, there was no signs or anything, suddenly the license plates just changed. But here we're standing in Liechtenstein, which is the 6th smallest country in the world. It's only 25 kilometers long, actually, and it's landlocked by both Austria and Switzerland. One of the interesting things about this place is that if you were to do a GDP based on person, this is actually one of the highest in the world, right up there with Monaco. Even with such a small population, they have a prince. So we're standing in front of the Vaduz castle, and this is actually the official residence and the capital of Liechtenstein. I guess there's a prince in there. Maybe we can meet him. Maybe he'll be our friends. Maybe he'll give us fancy stuff. I don't know. But it's a cool place to be, at least to say you've come to this country. It is quite beautiful. You can see all the mountains on the side, and it's just a nice place.
And you see the horse right there, right?
Oh yeah, there's horses too. After finishing our drive, we've reached Zurich. So we're here in Switzerland, and you can see right behind me, we're right on Zurich's lake with some swans. It's a really beautiful place and the water's very clear. The weather's nice today. We actually just had some lunch at a place called Le Désolé, where we had cheese fondue, which I don't think I've ever actually had before, but it was an interesting experience. I'd say the cheese was a little bit bitter, but it was worth trying out. I guess dipping onions though in cheese tastes really, really fantastic. From here, we're just gonna walk around some of this downtown area and see what Zurich has to offer before heading over to Lucerne. So a couple interesting things about Zurich. It's actually the largest city in Switzerland with a population of 1.8 million, but it's not even the capital. That's actually Bern, which I learned today.
Yeah.
Honestly, you don't really hear about Bern that much. The other interesting thing is if you're looking to do banking, this is the place to come. This is the business center of Switzerland, and this is where all the things you hear about Swiss banks or whatever, like gold being hidden for many years in some random Swiss bank, that's all here in Zurich. Having checked out a little bit of downtown now, moving on to Bahnhofstrasse, which is kind of the main, I would say, tourist area here in the city. It has a lot of different chocolate stores and I'm guessing designer shops and stuff like that. Yeah. Swiss watches and whatnot. So let's go see what it looks like. We will try and get some chocolate maybe.
We'll get it. We'll get it. Don't worry. We're definitely going to get
it. To bring back and to try. So stay tuned. It's an incomplete trip without checking out a chocolate place, and we're here at Lindt. And there's literally a chocolate wall right here with chocolate flowing down. It's really cool. And there's even a chocolate river down the stairs. Not to mention all the different varieties of chocolate just laying around here in the store. This gave Lindt a bit of a taste test. What do you think, Vivek? Was it worth it?
Good. Not the best, but it was good.
Yeah, it was okay. Honestly, I tried 4 of them. I got a milk chocolate, a strawberry, a champagne flavored one, and a caramel with pistachio, I think.
Yeah.
Out of all of them, the milk chocolate tasted the best. The champagne one actually tasted exactly like champagne, which only made me like it less. Yeah, I think it was okay. I don't think it was necessarily anything crazy or super special. definitely a skip if
sure,
you're in Zurich. Following a tip from online, we have picked up some chocolate from Co-op. That's because they have a pretty good variety and it's actually significantly discounted as compared to the rest of the street. Considering we just paid, I don't know, probably like $8 for 4 pieces of chocolate at Lindt, I would say this is a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Just an hour's drive outside of Zurich, we are now in Lucerne. And honestly, I wish we were here a little earlier because this place seems amazing. As you can see, there's just these giant mountains all around the city and this beautiful water. Not to mention, it's a really hustling and bustling downtown. Actually, it's a lot more busy than Zurich was. And a lot of nice shops, pretty much all the same ones that were in Zurich. As well as, I think the buildings here are a lot cooler.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it looks really nice. It's like definitely a place, gives like very relaxing vibes.
Skip Zurich. I think that's the message, right? And just come right here. This looks really nice, yeah.
Especially if you're tight on time.
So we're now at the Chapel Bridge, and this was actually a bridge built back in 1360. Some interesting facts about this is actually the world's oldest truss bridge that's still standing, as well as Europe's oldest bridge with a wood ceiling. So it's a very beautiful place. It's actually one of the top places here to see in Lucerne, as well as all of Switzerland. So let's go take a walk on it and see what we find. This bridge is absolutely worth the visit. It has such a beautiful view of the city and the walking paths along the side, as well as these really ornate flower arrangements on the actual side of the bridge itself. I think one of the most striking parts about Lucerne is obviously got to be its medieval architecture. There's just so many buildings here that are very incredible to look at. They're very unique, they're very pointed and jagged, that's very reminiscent of that medieval architecture style. As well as the fact that even going out into the mountains in the distance, you can see these big castles. It's really quite incredible. Like, this area has a population of 1/9 the size of Zurich, but I would say 10x the beauty. Good morning. Today we are leaving Lucerne and heading to Lauterbrunnen, but as you can see, our hotel is actually situated in such an amazing spot. We're up in the mountains overlooking Lake Lucerne over there. It's just a beautiful view to wake up to in the morning. The clouds are running into the mountains. Great pit stop before we head to our location today, which is supposedly the location that inspired a lot of The Hobbit. So I'm excited to check that out. How did you like this place, Vivek?
Oh, this is really beautiful. Lucerne's great.
Yeah. And the breakfast today was actually pretty good too at the hotel. Lots of different types of jams to try. Apparently that's a Swiss thing too. Lots of jams.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So got to give that a shot as well. But yeah, should be a quick 1.5 hour drive over to Lauterbrunnen, and we'll hopefully get some amazing views there as well. So we're just outside of our destination of Lauterbrunnen, and the drive here was absolutely magical. Like, there was beautiful lakes in Interlaken and all along the route. It's just making me more excited to get to the actual final spot.
It's gonna be really fun and awesome to see.
Vivek's whole thing this entire trip has been he wants to see some fall colors. I think you're starting to finally see a little bit of that.
Yeah. It's definitely delayed this year, but it's cool. You can see more of it here.
We have nothing to blame other than ourselves because of climate change.
Yeah, exactly.
Switzerland, definitely a must drive through. Like, if you're not driving, you're not seeing all of this. So we finally reached the Lauterbrunnen area. We are actually currently in a small town perched on the hills above the Lauterbrunnen Valley called Wengen. This is where the cable car goes up to the mountains. And this area is actually very nice. We took a 15-minute train up from the Lauterbrunnen Valley up into here because there's no cars allowed. And the views were astounding all the way up. So this area is part of the Jungfrau region, which is called that because there's 3 mountains that surround this area. The most prominent of which is called the Jungfrau. I'm actually very excited about this area because if you've ever seen the K-drama called Crash Landing on You, it also is shot a lot here, where they inadvertently meet several times in Switzerland, despite being from North and South Korea. I was telling Vivek about that show, that he has to go watch it.
Yeah, I guess I have to do that next.
Yeah, calling the Royal Experience. We're right here on top of the cable car. Everyone else is below, and we're gonna be riding up this right here. Hopefully it's not too windy on the way up, but it looks like it's gonna be a beautiful view.
Yeah.
One word for the view on the way up: phenomenal. Well worth taking this open air portion.
Shivam's actually crying.
Yeah, I'm actually crying at the level of beauty I'm seeing. No, just kidding. It's just I'm very sensitive to the wind in my face and I start crying immediately. But it is insanely beautiful up here.
Yeah.
First trail we're doing here is the Royal Walk, which is kind of a quick trail up to a hilltop where there's supposedly a crown type shaped standing place, I guess, that you can take some pictures at, so that might be kind of cool. But what's really crazy about this place is it looks like it's straight out of the scene of Crash Landing on You. I am so impressed. All we need is a few paragliders now and it'll be complete. This Royal Walk trail was short. The last bit of it was very steep. I was dying. Combination of altitude plus this brace that I'm wearing for my back just restricts my breathing. So Vivek though, in the prime shape of his life, was just like running up there.
I don't know about running,
but it's well worth it. You have panoramic views all around you. So we have the mountains over here, and then to this side, valley below, and then all the way on this other side too, you can see Interlaken right over there in the distance. What are you doing, Vivek?
Taking the pose of the king on the king's crown.
Who's the king?
I am.
I thought it was Shah Rukh Khan. So one funny tidbit is that there is a mountain around here where there's actually a statue of Shah Rukh Khan, because they shot a bunch of Bollywood movies up here in the Swiss Alps. The scenery is just so beautiful here. I can definitely see how this is so reminiscent of The Hobbit. They actually said that J.R.R. Tolkien, who wrote The Hobbit, came to this region and very closely after wrote it. So it's a little bit of a debate. Is it actually from New Zealand or is it here? But I think it's here. You have the 3 large peaks in the distance. You have the extremely nice valleys with waterfalls coming down. People actually say this is supposed to look like, I believe, Rivendell, where the elves were from in The Hobbit. So from here, we're just going to continue down to the Panorama Trail, and then after that, make our way back down. Finished up in the Lauterbrunnen Valley, and we've come over to Interlaken to view some of the water, as well as check out this beautiful garden. As you can see, the fountain behind us. The interesting thing about this garden is there's actually a statue of Yash Chopra here.
Yeah.
The director of Hum Tum, Mohabbatein, Dil To Pagal Hai,
Om Shanti Om.
Om Shanti Om, yeah. All of that's Yash Chopra. So, we thought it would be a nice chill thing to check out, and as soon as we got here, there's just a line of uncles yelling at each other to get pictures of one another. Suddenly all the Indian people show up.
You should pan too.
Yeah, what are they doing? I don't know where the Indian people were for the rest of it, because they clearly weren't hiking. So we've just come to a viewing point here at Interlaken, and as you can see, the water is a toothpaste blue color now. So from this beautiful view, we are actually headed to our next beautiful view. So tomorrow we will be in the Zermatt area to go check out the Matterhorn. So I guess we're pretty much done for the day. Now we're just going to try and drive over to that area. We might actually encounter a train car.
Yeah.
Where we have to load the car onto a train and it gets driven through a tunnel on the train. So that might be a unique experience. Let's see if it actually happens.
Yep.
We've just loaded up on the car train. This is a pretty interesting thing. I've never seen this before. We had to drive all the way in, and now we're just waiting for this train to take us right through a tunnel through the mountain.
Yeah, this is surreal. I've never seen or heard of anything like this before.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we can't stand up while this thing is moving because we'll probably fall over.
Yeah, it's probably for the better.
Yeah. There's literally so much wind through this tunnel. It feels so scary. Like, I put the camera out for a second and it felt like it was about to fall over. I don't understand why there's no light in this entire tunnel at all.
Yeah.
But I guess it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's. I've never been in car train?
Yeah, I think there was some earthquake happening at the same time, and Vivek was making some jokes in his group chat that his car is shaking aggressively. Yeah, I guess it is shaking. Good morning yet again. Today is our last full day. Tomorrow we're actually taking an early morning flight out of Milan. But we basically went back to the hotel, had some weird falafel type sandwich, and went to bed. And they actually didn't even know what hummus was at that store. Just goes to show you, not exactly Middle Eastern. But we are now here in Zermatt. So we woke up early and we took a 15-minute train from Tash into Zermatt. Actually, when we woke up, the sun wasn't even in the sky, and it was 7 a.m. So that was a bit interesting. So Zermatt basically serves off as the kickoff point to go visit the Matterhorn. So the Matterhorn is Switzerland's most iconic peak. It is actually pyramid shaped. So you might recognize the Matterhorn from the Toblerone box.
Yeah.
So Toblerone uses the Matterhorn shape because that's kind of the most recognizable thing here. A fun fact about that is that apparently Switzerland has asked them to stop using the Matterhorn on their packaging because
they're planning to outsource it.
Yeah, they're not even making Toblerone in Switzerland anymore.
And don't get fooled by the Swiss chocolate.
So it should be a really cool place to see. I was reading online that the pyramid shape is extremely unique and it was formed by glacial erosion. So I think there was probably like 2 glaciers going in opposite directions that basically carved out this mountain. It seems like our plans here in Zermatt haven't quite panned out. As soon as we got here, the actual cable car to Sunega that's supposed to take us to the Five Lakes Trail was closed, even though the calendar says it's open till the 31st of October.
Yeah, it's actually closed until the 31st or something. It's weird.
It's crazy. Like online it says it's open and now we're here, it's closed. So we couldn't even do that. Basically the weather is not cooperating either for the first time during this trip.
Yeah.
We've gotten extremely lucky the entire
time. Very
time.
fortunate, yeah.
Yeah, like it rained a little bit, but at no crucial times for us. And now the clouds are literally covering this entire region of Zermatt and all the mountains and everything. And if you look up the live view online, you can't see anything up there.
At least they have live view to tell you
ahead of time.
It's worth going up before spending 100 francs for a train.
That's annoying, but let's see if we can stay at this viewpoint right here in Zermatt and see if we spot it in the next 15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And get lucky, and then we'll just head out somewhere else. In a 9-10 day trip, there's always got to be one day.
Yeah, it just happens to be the last day.
Yeah, unfortunate. So after this, we'll try and see if we can come up with some plans for what to do next. 3 hours of driving from our failed attempt to go through the Matterhorn. We are now in Lake Como. So Lake Como is actually one of the most popular lakes and tourist destinations these days in Italy. And I'm sure you've seen the destination wedding videos. This is actually a very famous spot that's been going back all the way to the Roman era. So apparently even back during Roman times, people who were wealthy or high up in government would come to this area to relax. And now it's home to many, many villas right on the water, as well as home to some celebrities that you might know. Obviously, George Clooney, Ronaldinho, Richard Branson, Madonna, just to name a few.
Yeah.
It's definitely a beautiful area. Obviously, we're here during the rain because things just didn't happen to work out for us this day. I don't think anything's been working out particularly well, but we're making the best of it, and we'll check out this area before heading back to the airport for our hotel stay tonight, which is right in the airport itself.
Yeah.
And then we'll be taking our flight back to the bay tomorrow. It'll actually be a really long journey. I think it's 20 hours.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah. From Milan to Paris, Paris to Atlanta, Atlanta SF. So we just finished up our last day here in Italy. We ended up going down to the downtown Lake Como area to check out this pasta shop, but that did not work out. Apparently they stopped selling cooked pasta after lunch hour. So we ended up walking around quite a bit and it was downpouring for a little bit.
Yeah, I was basically drenched.
Yeah, it was bad. But we ended up going to this one small place, getting some pasta and some pizza. It was okay.
Yeah.
I would say generally food was okay on the trip.
No, I think I enjoyed the food in the beginning.
Yeah.
And the first half of the trip. I think as soon as we hit Switzerland, it dropped off. This place was fine, but you can kind of tell it was Americanized in a way. It was weird.
Yeah. The cheese on the pizza tasted like the cheese on a frozen pizza, like a Celeste frozen pizza from the grocery store. Regardless, we were full at the end of the meal, and now we are here. So we are heading out tomorrow morning with our flight from here at the Milan airport. We actually got rebooked after our flight got initially canceled. We both got really scared.
We were checking at 5:30 p.m. on our way back when I was looking at restaurants, and then we got an email 2:15 or something saying that our flight from Milan to Paris was canceled.
Yeah, so anyways, they also silently rebooked us on another flight, which is actually a little bit better than our original flight, so can't complain there, and we'll be getting back at the exact same time as we were before. But yeah, I guess overall this trip was really fun. We were able to see a lot of different types of places. We went to multiple cities, multiple different, nature-esque places, the Dolomites, Lauterbrunnen. It was all very beautiful.
Oh, this is 100% worth it. I think the trip was actually paced fairly well, no matter how much doubt I had in the beginning on how fast we were going through places. I think there are different ways to think about it, right? You could do a trip spending a lot of time in one area or getting a taste of different places and being able to explore it later on.
That's kind of my philosophy right now. It's just like, let's go to places, a day or two, see if we like them. If we really like them, then, come back anytime. Otherwise, if you don't like them, it's, it's only 1 or 2 days invested in that path. Favorite activity, favorite nature place, and favorite city.
Alright, he had to say nature place and activity and break it down because my favorite activity was the Autobahn, driving on the Autobahn in the M4 competition. That was the best. I think Switzerland was the best, just from like having like those snow-capped mountains with the scenery of the green grass and like the trails and stuff like that. You could see like there was a lot more to do in that region of things. Even the Dolomites is beautiful and it's actually a big region as well. But I like Switzerland a bit more. It has that edge. In terms of city, I thought Innsbruck was a nice, pleasant, unexpected surprise. Like, it was a nice town area. It wasn't too big, but it's very homely, and we just went to a restaurant for dinner and ran into this couple, a little bit older, but they kind of invited us to their table because it was very busy, and they kind of was talking about their life and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that was really nice, and I think that was a very wholesome experience that brings a little bit of like heart to Innsbruck in my mind.
For me, favorite activity is a bit difficult. I liked a lot of different things, honestly. Like, I liked going to the Dolomites. I liked going up to Lauterbrunnen, like the cable car. And I did like going out to the Neuschwanstein?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll never get it right. Castle. So I think for me specifically, I think that's a bit tough. But I think favorite nature area, I did like the Dolomites, I think, the best. I really did come. That was the inspiration for this trip initially, going to the Dolomites.
That's true, yeah.
Because of the the jagged cliffs looked really cool, and they did deliver. Honestly, I would go back and spend some more time there because I feel like there's a lot of trails and places we didn't quite see. Outside of that, favorite city, Lucerne or Munich. Yeah, I like Munich actually because it's like a classic big city, but I felt it was very organized.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
And I think like it was very similar to Berlin in that sense. Like, I felt like it was a very organized city, and there's a lot of different things you can do there. And it's very easy to drive in and out of the city and go do other things. So I liked that aspect a lot. Lucerne I purely liked for the fact that it was just so beautiful there. Like, that is a city to go see, city to go walk around. And it was so nice and quiet after, probably that dinner hour. That closes out this trip.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it went by so fast.
It really did. I think like we literally enjoyed every single day. And to be honest, maybe today was like the worst day because of like the rain, not being able to see the Matterhorn and stuff. But honestly, like, that's not even that bad. Like, we got to see Lake Como, got to come back to Milan from Switzerland. Like, we had to come back to the airport at some point.
And coming off season, there's always a little bit of a risk, but I think we got very lucky this trip.
Yeah.
I think just by going a little bit off season, we were able to avoid basically all of the crowds everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, if you go online to some of the places that we went to on this trip and look at pictures of it, in the summer, they're packed.
Yeah.
And we went there and it was like empty this entire trip. So
I'm a huge, like, I think this trip convinced me to do October travel all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I think like it's just ideal.
There's literally no one doing anything.
Yeah.
So,
if you have the opportunity to, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, not everyone gets the opportunity to. We were just lucky with that. But.
Yeah. It was a great trip all around. And I guess I'll see you next month on my next trip. Me and Shipra, unfortunately, Vivek will be staying at home.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll just I'll just experience it through the videos like you're doing already.
But we will be headed out to the Middle East once again. So we're going to a trip around Oman, the Muscat area, then up to Abu Dhabi, and then to Dubai. So that'll be our next trip.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, hope to see you there. Bye.